In early November 2014, the Burmese army exhumed the body of Par Gyi from a shallow grave in a desolate field in eastern Burma. The freelance reporter had been missing for a month. For his wife, Ma Thandar, the desperate search for her husband was over, but her fight for justice was only beginning. Par Gyi was a fiercely strong man, an activist as well as a reporter. In his youth, he'd served as a bodyguard for Aung San Suu Kyi. In September, Par Gyi had travelled to Mon State to cover clashes between the Democratic Karen Benevolent Army and government troops. The trip was a detour. Par Gyi was due to meet his wife and daughter in the northern Thai city of Chiang Mai later that week. He never arrived.
On the
2nd of November, police in Rangoon passed on a fax message from Chaitmyor police informing me that the exhumation was planned for the 5th. They said I had to be there the day before for questioning. My lawyer, Noor On La, came to support me. Some 88 generation members also joined us. We left on the morning of the 4th.
On the 24th of October, a notice appeared in Burmese state media. It read that Par Gyi had been arrested by police in Chaitmyor as a suspected member of the DKBA. It claimed that he had been turned over to the army on the 30th of September and shot 5 days later as he attempted to escape custody. Ma Thandar arrived in the Mon capital of Moulmein late on November 4th. Already flanked by media and legal aids, her group swelled with the support of local MPs.
On the evening of the 4th, our group went to the police station. The township police chief was waiting for us when we got there. He was surrounded by heavily armed police. He answered questions from our lawyer and the 88 generation members.
A deal was struck to meet at 8 o'clock the following morning at a roundabout on the outskirts of town. From there, they would travel to the remote field where Par Gyi was buried. The police guaranteed their safety.
When we got there, we found army trucks full of soldiers. We couldn't identify their battalion from their badges. They were fully armed, about 5 or 6 truckloads of them, and there were 2 police vehicles full of policemen. I went over to speak to them. They were sitting in this hut on the side of the road. One of them introduced himself as the state police chief and introduced us to the 2 coroners. They said they were waiting for the Myanmar Human Rights Commission investigation team. They said we could depart as soon as they arrived. We waited in the car. Then the convoy of trucks departed. There was a police vehicle and an army truck ahead of us, and more vehicles behind us. There were at least 50 policemen and nearly 100 soldiers.
But Ma Thandar and her group were to make a harrowing realization. To reach Par Gyi's final resting place, they would have to be led through a minefield.
Before
we departed, the police officer on duty told us that the area we were headed to is very dangerous. He said there could be landmines, and so we would have to follow their exact footsteps. He said we could not deviate from the specified route, and that if anything happened to any of us, they could not be responsible. We were on our own. They told us this the very morning we were headed out.
The second part of Journey to Justice will appear next Saturday. In the meantime, find out more about Par Gyi's case at dvb.no.